Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to another episode of the Money Garden. And today it's Wednesday, so y'all know what W stands for, woman. And so today we are going to talk about a little bit more on this whole idea that we started last week. If you saw our last week episode, is understanding of what holds us back. So this theme is obviously, as I mentioned last time, you guys, it really is a monster. There is so many different ways or different reasons or different root causes or different approaches to it. But so the way I have chosen to walk down this path and on this journey and try to shed some light to some of these issues is just one way. Is certainly there's many different ways to approach it. So one of the things, some of the high-level reasons based on my research, what I started, just to give you guys a little bit of a overview of what we have talked about last time. Some of the research that I have done, trying to figure out what holds us back, there were a few things that it started coming up to the surface, and what I have noticed from my own participation in different women's group, my own conversations or interviews or dialogue with other women and asking the same question, what do they think? Also, of course, my own opinions and my own thoughts as a woman as well. And there were the top four that we talked about last time. What I have started to find what holds us back is one, that we operate in silos. Even though we talk about this whole idea of community, everybody loves community, we all love community, we all agree that we are stronger together. I don't believe there is one person says that they believe that we are stronger separated. I believe there is strength in unity. We are stronger together, yet somehow women still operate in silos, like smaller little groups. So today what I wanted to take a moment of understanding a little bit better. So why is that? Why do we operate why do we operate in silos and in these small groups? And one of the reasons, so these are just some top 3 reasons that I've kind of started seeing or asking the question. Well, I see a lot of comparison. Us women, compare ourselves. Then is it lack of tolerance? Maybe because we don't have a lot of tolerance if somebody else is different for us. So instead of taking a step back and trying to exercise some understanding, immediately we just say, well, they're different. That's not something I have to accept. That's not something I have to deal with. I'm just not gonna be as part of that group. I'm gonna go find myself another group where perhaps there's less differences, right? And then finally, this longing to belong. We all long to belong, but sometimes I notice that this could be also, it's a little bit paradoxical, right? Because we long to belong. We want to be part of a community. We want to, why we have friends, why we have families, why we have small groups, because we want to belong. We want to know we are part of something, our tribe, so to speak. We hear it a lot say, find your tribe, right? But at the same time, if we long so much to belong, does it come at a cost? Does it come at a cost of giving up something of ourselves? Can we ever find a place where we're truly authentic, where we can truly be ourselves, yet at the same time feel like we are part of a community? And that means there's going to be other people who are not going to be like us, who are going to be different. Maybe the basics are going to be, maybe we're going to have some shared values, maybe we're going to have some core values, but maybe a lot of our traits or personalities or styles or thoughts or visions about the world is going to be different. And then at that point, is this something that we struggle with? So I wanted to take a moment and go further down this journey and start to explore it. And I would love your opinion and your thoughts. What do you guys think about this on the subject of what holds us back? One of the things that I found is, I believe, is because we still operate in silos. And right now I just want to go a little bit deeper. So for the next couple of episodes, probably we're going to stay here a little bit and understanding more. Why do we operate in silos? Why do we have all these different women's groups, right? In 10, 15, some are bigger. So don't get me wrong. Yeah, definitely some communities are definitely bigger. But the networking groups, for example, in Lake County, why are we operating in all these small groups when clearly we are so much more powerful when we come together and when we unite? That's my vision, actually. What is my vision? My vision is to truly create a community where we don't get hung up on our differences, you guys, but rather embrace our differences and, more importantly, focus on our similarities. Because probably 90% we are actually alike, we are a lot more similar, and then maybe just 10% there might be some differences, which is a good thing. We all have different personalities, so instead of for us cutting each other off from each other because we're different, you know, I envision a world where we can truly embrace our differences. But what would have to happen for that to happen? I think, one, we have to start learning about or focusing on how do we compare less, and just try not to keep comparing ourselves. Either somebody else we feel they are better than us, or we might feel that we are better than them, and that's always a comparison. And that really kills any community, because when this comparison starts happening, then always somebody's not going to feel comfortable with somebody, and somebody's going to want to leave the group. The second thing is lack of tolerance. You know, once we stop comparing, we understand the differences. The question is, you know, how do we focus on developing tolerance to not allow those differences to bother us, but rather embrace them? How do we become tolerant for somebody disagreeing with us? Ooh, that's a big one, right? We are, even with your best friend, you love them to death, but the minute they disagree with you, you're like, you know, how can you not see it my way? So this is a big one. Innately, we want everyone to agree with us. But how about if we turn it around for a second, you guys, and we say, well, how about, do I have to agree? We always say we can agree to disagree, but again, it becomes a cliche, because when it comes down to practicing what we preach, we don't quite do it, right? So how can we learn to be more truly, to actually stay true to this saying, when we say let's agree to disagree, well, let's truly agree to disagree and not allow the disagreement to somehow affect our personal relationships. So that means, you know, increasing tolerance, right? And then the number 3 is longing to belong. So why don't we focus, because we do all long to belong, right? So if we focus on our similarities and focus on strengthening this group and focus on all of us bringing our best to the table and really not focus on weaknesses, but more importantly on the strengths. Imagine if, you know, my strength is, let's say, I have a great style, and your strength is communication, and your strength is being great with relationships, and your strength is being great with organization, and your strength is being analytical, very good with data. Imagine if we brought all of us together with all these different strengths put together. Imagine what we can conquer. So that will be all for today. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, but I really did wanted to leave you guys. These are some questions I'm doing research on, and I'm focusing on trying to get some answers. But again, just start thinking a little bit more. When you are part of a community and you decide, you know, I don't think I like it, I want to go to this one, or I want to go to that one, just maybe be a little bit more aware that what we're doing, we're creating silos, you guys, and that never helped anyone. And never will help anyone. We are always stronger united. We are stronger when we're together. And then when we feel we want to do that, or leave a group, or become part of another group, what are some of the things? Just be aware. What are some of the things? Why? Ask the question of yourself. Why? Why does that make me feel uncomfortable? And ask yourself, am I doing comparison? Am I comparing myself to somebody in that group, or comparing them to me? Do I think I'm better than them, or do I think they are not as good as me? Am I exercising tolerance, or is it lack of? Do I have too much lack of tolerance for somebody else's differences? And if I long to belong, then if I leave the group, is that going to help me with my longing to belong? Or if I stay in the group and try to figure out and make it stronger? So I hope that brings a little bit, those questions are going to bring us a little bit more insight, and perhaps some more answers to our questions, and maybe we can start walking forward on this journey that I like to walk on, and I invite everyone to walk with me if you relate to this, and understanding what holds us back as women, and how can we become more united to come together to ultimately become stronger, to ultimately support each other, and to ultimately really truly to create all the dreams and goals that we have in the world. Because when we are united, we come together, we really truly can move mountains. It has been done in the past. There's many examples of it. I believe it's being done today, and I absolutely believe we can do it in the future. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And if you have any comments, questions, please let me know. I always welcome your thoughts. And I will see you guys Friday.